Good morning and welcome to CSL Leesburg, the Center for Spiritual Living Leesburg. My name is Kristen. We're so happy to have you join us today. And our theme for 2024 is a grand rising. And this month, our focus is the steps. Oh, I'm sorry. This month, our focus is from good to great to grand. And today's message is the steps we take, given by our beloved spiritual director, Charlene Banks. And we're so glad that you joined us today. Please feel free to add into the chat or in the comments any prayer requests or celebrations that you would like to have included later in the service when we provide our community spiritual mind treatment, which is a form of affirmative prayer. We invite you to get comfortable and relax into this moment as we officially begin our service with this welcoming video.
Please join us as we create our sacred space. We set our intentions of deepening into our awareness and practice of our 5 pillars of spiritual living by lighting this candle in our virtual world. Our first pillar is sacred study, represented by the divine quality of truth. We use this pillar to recognize the importance of an open mind and the power of our minds. The second pillar is affirmative prayer, represented by the divine quality power. This pillar honors the power of prayer in our daily lives. Our third pillar is meditation and the divine quality of peace. This pillar reminds us of the importance of meditation and the peace we feel when we quiet our minds. The fourth pillar is circulation and the divine quality of life. We know that the great law of circulation works in our lives. As we give, so shall we receive. And the fifth pillar is sacred service and the divine quality of love. This pillar affirms our call to be of service to our world as we see through the eyes of love. Let us close our eyes as we bless the sacred space and our time together. As we weave each of these pillars of spiritual living into our service today, may they deepen our own spiritual practices of study, prayer, meditation, circulation, and service, expanding our minds and our hearts to the 5 divine qualities of truth, power, peace, life, and love. We also bless everyone who made our service possible today and everyone in attendance. May the energy of love that is generated here bless everyone abundantly, and so it is.
And so, Kristen, are you our meditation person for the day, or would you like to?
I can certainly do that.
That would be great. I'm sorry to spring it on you, but Tamara is, she's with her dad today, so we're going to improvise. Thank you.
That's fine. I just invite you to find yourself in a comfortable seated position. It doesn't matter if your feet are crossed or uncrossed, if your hands are crossed or uncrossed. And all we do to begin our meditation is just to notice where we are and how we are. So I'm just going to ask you to notice how your heart is beating. And asking you to notice how the breath is moving. And ask you to notice any sounds you hear in your environment. And ask you to notice any sensations you feel in the body. As we let the breath move in and out of the body, we just acknowledge that there's cells that make up our body. And in each cell, there is divine intelligence. An intelligence that brings our skin into existence. An intelligence that moves the blood through the body, and that the blood knows exactly what to do to take care of us, to keep us running smoothly, exchanges oxygen, brings nutrients to every organ. We acknowledge the frame of our body, the bones of our body, providing us with support, helping supply the blood into the body. The bones that are created with a divine intelligence to know exactly what the body needs. And it might be different in every single person. And we can acknowledge any of our organs, the heart beating, the lungs breathing, the brain as it processes and thinks and has ideas, inspirations, and might contain our hopes and our fears and our dreams and our wishes. And at the heart of every cell and every part of our body that is animating us, there's a divine energy that sparks all of this into creation. We can see so many examples of divine intelligence working throughout our world if we look into nature. We see the perfect patterning and the perfect creation around us, the animals, the plants, the insects, the birds, the elements of our planet that make this a divine place to live. We just know that we are part of this divine plan. And the elements on the outside are also within us. And so we just breathe, following the breath, not trying to control, just accepting. Just saying to your body, I accept, I acknowledge. And as a result, you may feel areas that want to relax, and just allow them to relax. And then we just breathe a little bit more deeply now with consciousness to come back. And you might stretch the toes and you might stretch the fingers and you just might waken up a little bit more. And now we blink our eyes open and come back to the reality. And we acknowledge our musical guests, Soul Pajamas.
Good morning. This is a lovely song by Jan and JD. And it's such a great example of how you can create so many wonderful things in the outside world just through the power of your intention. I dreamed of rain and the rains came, soft and easy, sweet and clear. I dreamed of rain and the rains came, and peace spread over the land. I dreamed of rain and the rains came, soft and easy, sweet and clear. I dreamed of rain and the rains came, and peace spread over the land. I dreamed of summer and the winds changed, and the green was easy and the rivers ran clear. I dreamed of summer and the winds changed, and peace spread over the land. And the flowers bloomed in the desert, and the air is fresh and clear. I dreamed of rain and the rains came, and peace spread over the land. I dreamed of freedom and the moon rose, and the way was easy and the path was clear. I dreamed of freedom and the moon rose, and peace spread over the land. And the flowers bloomed in the desert, and the air is fresh and clean. I dreamed of rain and the rains came, and peace spread over the land. I dreamed of rain and the rains came, soft and easy, sweet and clear. I dreamed of rain and the rains came, and peace spread over the land. I dreamed of rain and the rains came.
That was wonderful. That was so peaceful. I love that song. I love Kristen's meditation, and I missed everybody. Hi, I'm back. So, happy Mother's Day belated to those of you who are either mothers or acting in a mother capacity. Speaking of mother, I just came back from a trip where it was all about the Divine Mother and how it shows up, especially in Catholicism. But after chatting with my sister a bit, who's really good about ancient Kemet or Egypt roots, we discovered that it's all based in Aset, the throne of power, which is the woman. And Mafi, tell me if I misquoted, because I'm happy to get you to type in the chat what I should have said. Still learning. But I love that I went on this journey with a colleague that's right here in the chat right now, that we went together because to this journey that sounds kind of weird. I'll give you the name of the retreat. It was located in Paris, and that's what we were going to do. Let's go to Paris and get out of town and do something new. And I think I've told you guys, it was a trip led by a woman who wrote a book called God is a Black Woman. I know I did it. I had a little bit of flair because you know how I do. But at first I was like, I mean, God is energy, God is everywhere. But okay, let's assume that we're going to say God is a Black woman. I'm listening. That was the first step of the journey. This talk is called The Steps We Take. And what it's about is how we can let our intention lead us through our life on the journey that we have aligned with our values. Intentions should reflect our highest values, and those values will lead us to where we're meant to be. Because according to Roger Teal, who wrote this book, The Life is Joy, This Life is Joy, he says, every one of us is born to make manifest the glory of God or the glory of the divine. The most powerful way to fulfill this calling is to discover and empower your soul's sincere desire, and to allow this soulful clarity to provide leadership for your choices, your intentions, for your prayers, for your actions. He's saying that if we get in touch with who we really are, who we came here to be, we allow that to inform our choices, let that inform our intentions. We align what we're doing with what we value. We take steps that are intentional, that we were going to be living the life of our dreams, supposedly. So here I am, I'm in ministerial school, I'm grueling, I'm doing everything 4 years plus through COVID, haven't been out the country, and I like leaving the country, but I didn't do it. I was like, oh, head to the grindstone. And so when Renee said, Shar, do you want to go on this? I was like, yes. I didn't even, like, yes, it sounds like a bunch of Black women are getting together to go on a journey to another country to look at some spirituality. And I don't even care if it's kind of, I don't want to call it basic, but if it's kind of doesn't really reflect the high-mindedness of what CSL teaches. I'm here for it. It's spiritual. Let's go. That was the first step. And I want to say that when you're in your small world, and I say our world got smaller when COVID happened, our world was limited to the rooms of our home and possibly a well-masked grocery store. Our world got way small. And when we're in that world that's way small, we can kind of control everything around us. We can, everything we choose to do is within our control-ish, right? We don't really have to compare how we're showing up in the world to what other people think of how we're showing up in the world, because our world is limited to 2 or 3 people in the home and possibly tens of them online. The world got smaller. So when we're in our homes and in our small environment, we can be anybody we decide that we are. We can believe that we're the most generous, loving, attentive listener on the planet. But guess what? Leave the country. Leave your comfort zone. Drop your car off at the airport, get on a plane, have them check your passport 16 different times because, oh my gosh, you might have changed who you are, and then stand in line forever. And you got to go potty and you want to eat, but then you're tired and you have a headache. And oh my God, the jet lag. Now, are you that loving, listening person who has the big, no, that's not who you are. Because guess what, you guys? We're humans first. We're humans and we're doing the best we can and we're showing up in this world and they don't even speak our language. So you got to pull out the phone and hope Google Translate doesn't mess it up. Things in our lives will change. And that's when we get a chance to say, who am I now? Who am I being in this moment? Am I being that loving, kind? Probably not. And then that's when we can say, let's get in alignment with our intention again, and let's be a little more in the moment. One thing about traveling, it's kind of like rock climbing, although I don't have as much experience doing the latter. I hear that in rock climbing, you don't have a lot of space to let your mind wander. You've got to be in the moment, because where you put your hand and where you put that foot and whether you have purchase of the weight of your body, that's going to matter. You don't have the moment to let your mind drift. The mindfulness required to climb tall faces of mountains, it's similar to the mindfulness that's required when you're in a country that's completely unfamiliar. You don't have time to drift away and, oh, you daydream about the bills. No, ma'am. There, you're on a train. And what did they just say? You couldn't really understand the stop. Is this my stop? You have to be aware. And then there's the people around you. And then, oh, the pickpocketers. And you don't have time to not be right here, right now, where you are. And so knowing this, and that's the best part about travel, is all of our assumptions that fly under the radar, all the choices that are just, we've opted in just because of habit, they're up front and in our face. And in these moments, in these small steps, we get to ask ourselves, is this who I intend to be? Does who I'm being right now align with my highest intentions? If the answer is no, then in that moment, we can choose again. We can choose again and choose again and choose again. Now, let me take you back to where when I first left here, first step was get on the plane, fly out there. And then we start this trip, and we're, as I mentioned, we're in a group full of 25 or so other Black women from America. And we've all come from different walks of life. Some are still embedded in the traditional theology, and some people are new thought-ish, and other people are somewhere in between. And so there wasn't any common jargon that we could all rely on, because my idea of God and your idea of God and their idea is going to be different. So let's look at this Madonna, this mother of so-called God, right? This figure captured by Catholicism and then placed as the thing to look to in certain times, has usually been depicted as a white woman with the white baby that is Jesus. And so that's been shoved down our throats. So the lady who wrote the book went to Barcelona, apparently, which funnily enough, there's our second stop. But the lady who wrote the book, Barcelona, was the first stop. And when she first laid eyes upon the Madonna, who was Black, and I got a little statue, she looks just like this. This is what she looked at. The woman was like, say what now? Hold up, say what? She Black. And so then she went away like, why is she Black? And then looked around, and some people said, well, she's only Black because the wood was Black. And that's just the way the wood was. It has nothing to do with the identity of race or African descent, has nothing to do with that. That's what some people say. But she looked a little further and said, hold up. What if the people who made these statues chose the wood because it was Black, and because knowing that if you go way back into the lineage of humanity, that's where you find the seat of all humankind in Africa with Black skin? What if that's the case? And what if, she keeps writing, and she never said these words, I'm interpreting, I'm summarizing. She says, what if when they were colonizing all of these other regions now, and people came across and kind of shoved Catholicism or Christianity, I'm not sure if it was Catholicism at that point, when they shoved Christianity down everybody's throat, and they always put the white Madonna forward, was it intentional that the Madonna that they put forward and the child that they put forward never looked like the people that they were colonizing? Was that intentional, or was that just, well, most of them were made of white wood? Like, what are we doing? And then what happens when you take a community of people that were never given a deity that looked like them? Well, first, I mean, I guess the colonization part, first you have to rip away what they've been doing, which is, look, people tend to make graven images that look like themselves. Humans tend to create deities that reflect themselves. It happens all over the globe, or it's animals, right? So first colonization rule, rip away the current God, make it bad. Second colonization rule, replace it with people that look like colonizers. So see, we're God. You get it, I get it, we all get it. You're nothing, we're something, keep it moving. She says, what if around the world we've got like 400 plus Black, because of the wood, question mark, Madonnas, what if those were shown? Would that have changed how people see themselves? And either way, it changed her. So she started in Barcelona, saw that thing, and went on this whole journey. More of a PhD, like intellectual type, wrote books about the Black Madonna and does a lot of intellectual, combat with people who don't want to give the Black female her flowers, that kind of thing. And that's fine for her journey. What I was doing this whole time is trying to make it make sense and aligned with my values and what I know to be true. Because I know God is so much more than a graven image of a mother and child. Even though that graven image can take on many faces, we know that the divine is faceless and it is everywhere present. It is not something that we need to go to and touch and beg and plead, and hopefully favor will be granted upon us. And then we can send in some thanks, ex vote, blah, 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 thank you. It's not physical, but no shade to the people who think that it is. No shame because, well, gee, I'm on the 5th step of the ladder of evolution, and you seem to be on the 3rd step. Excuse me, there is no ladder. It's probably just a circle, a spiral, and it probably goes back and forth while going up. And we are where we are, and it's okay to be where we are. And so I was able to like keep both thoughts in my mind at the same time because I had to work at it. I had to work at it. And whether or not the leader of the trip should have done more spiritual work on the trip, it tended to be more like, let's go to these 4 places and take pictures of these statues, and then great, now dinner, right? It's up to us. And I knew for myself, I can't speak for Renee, but probably for her too, to take the context. What are you getting from this? And integrate that, make it fit into the bigger picture. But just knowing that every step along the way is another step where we get to say, am I behaving and am I acting and am I on the path that I intend for myself? Because we will drift. We'll drift when we hear somebody say something that's a little triggering, when we experience something that we didn't expect to experience. We'll drift to our regular humanity. And then we have to do a little bit of fixing of the position to get back to where we were meant to go. In fact, I have this one. Okay, Florence Chadwick. This swimmer, you may remember her name from 1952. She was attempting to swim from Catalina to California. So she had done the English Channel through fog, cold water, and the fear of sharks. After 15 hours, she gave up a half a mile from shore. Half a mile from shore. She couldn't see the land. And the coach pleaded with her to keep going because he knew how close she was. But she said later that if she could only see the land, then she would have made it. It wasn't the cold water. It wasn't exhaustion that got the best of her. She couldn't see the land, so she couldn't make it. So it's funny, when we have a lack of a clear vision, it's hard to keep up the umph that we need to get through the hard times. It's hard to just kind of get through whatever conflict is right in front of us, whatever thing seems too tough. It's hard to get through that if there's no bigger vision. In fact, a lot of times we step without knowing the whole road. That's where faith has to come in. You don't know exactly where it's going to take you, but you got to take a step. A lot of people will stay on the shore, refusing to take any step unless they see exactly how it's going to unfold. We don't know how things are going to unfold. We have an idea, we have our hopes, but especially when you're traveling overseas, you don't know how it's really going to unfold. So staying present and having faith in a vision, even though you can't physically see it, that's key. And didn't Martin Luther King say, uh, take the first step in faith? You don't have to see the whole staircase. None of us would be anywhere if we had to know exactly how it's going to be. We plan, but then we say, ah, well, we make plans and God laughs. I mean, so when we were making this plan for this vacation, there was the spiritual retreat that's in France that was going to be 5 days. And then I was like, we can't just come home after 5 days or 6 days or whatever. I've got a friend in Barcelona. Let me reach out. Now, I hadn't talked to this person for 6 or 7, probably 7 or 8 years since Blake started college is last time I talked to him. He is one of my friends from Learning Tree. We pretty much raised Blake together. He was one of the other like surrogate dads that Blake has been around for over the years of training. And I reach out to him. He's like, come stay with us. And I was like, what? Now they live very nicely. We get to Barcelona and it's like the sun came out literally and figuratively. Paris was raining every day. There was one day when the sun peeked out and then it said nah and it went away behind the clouds again. We get to Barcelona and oh, the sky parted and there's sun and there's blue sky, there's beach, there's delicious food, wonderful accommodations, and just you could feel just the everything was fine. Everything was absolutely better. Not that the previous place was bad, but it's like, oh, okay, this is what I'm talking about. And we couldn't have known which part of that journey was going to be great or which part was going to be terrible. I'm kind of giggling because I kind of knew. I have a friend named Betty who told me, so France is going to be okay, but Barcelona is going to be the jam. And so I was kind of expecting it. And you guys might say, well, Shar, that's just a self-fulfilling prophecy. But I say, nay, nay. Betty knows what she's doing. So anyway, we get to Barcelona. We just have a wonderful time. Was it wonderful, free from conflict and perfect? No, it was not. There were things that happened. Things always happen. You're in a foreign country and you're with friends and you haven't seen them in a while. Stuff is going to come up. Each step, we listen. We have to decide, am I being who I intend to be? Are my values being reflected in my behavior right now? Are they? If not, shift it and get back in alignment. Apologize if needed, keep moving. What we should never do is abandon ourselves in order to accommodate somebody. True friends will let you be you within reason. True friends will realize, oh, well, they're probably doing the best they can. In fact, Brene Brown said something. Brene Brown, because I have to tell you about the next step I took once I got home. Oh my gosh. Brene Brown said, all I know is that my life is better when I assume that people are doing their best. It keeps me out of judgment and lets me focus on what is and not what should or could be. And so that little quote came once I returned home and realized, oh gosh, I still have a pile of things to do. You're traveling, but those things will wait. And when you get home, they're just stacked up. And one of the things that's stacked up, another step I have to take, is training to be a hospice person. Hospice. You know what hospice is? It's when someone has been given about 6 months or less to live because of some terminal condition. And so they're moved into a facility. Sometimes they do it at home. And what happens is we administer palliative care to the person so that they have the best life possible while at the end of their life. So it's sort of like a death doula. You're just sort of ushering them into the next phase, whatever's next after this life. That's pretty deep. It's pretty heavy. And there was an exercise, my friends, that in the training, I have to do 20 hours of training before I can even show up because they want to make sure that I'm not crazy. So I'm doing this training. And I don't know if you've ever done this before, but there's a 1 hour exercise. You write down on 20 different index cards all the things you value, all the people you value the most, the things you like to do the most, whatever, your possessions that you value. And you got this stack of index cards, and then they walk you through a scenario that someone in hospice is definitely going through. And for each scenario, they're like, remove a card. Remove a card. You're letting go of all the things, 20 of them, that are important to you. And by the end of this hour, your card deck is empty. Oh. So what I took away from that is that none of this stuff lasts. I mean, I know intellectually, but you have me write down everything that makes me me, all the things I value about me, the reason I'm on this planet, to help make the world a better place, to encourage people and to lift them up and teach and inspire. Wait, what? It's all temporary. Every single thing, even the dog. What? And so now I'm like, okay, what steps are we taking now? Knowing that life is so short and people are so precious and everything we do has such gravity until it doesn't. Every place you are, wherever you are, be fully here right now because tomorrow's not guaranteed. How does that change your intention? How would you show up today if you knew that your stack of 20 is going to be gone? And we know it's going to be gone, but what if you had to take away one at a time? And it's crazy because in this exercise, at first you could pick which things to take away, right? So I was like, oh, take away the possessions. Those don't mean anything, right? Take away the possession. And at the end, she said, okay, shuffle those cards. Now take one away. You can't even control which thing to give up. So this is where I am right now, just remembering that I'm just here for a short time. And you're just here, we're all just here for a short time. And knowing that we could take what's really important is our relationships, our intentions, the trust that we have with one another, communication, the bonding, that stuff is what's important. Because everything else, and just remembering that, and I would love for you to fill in all of your worksheet stuff, all of it, because this will help you kind of plan, even if it's just this coming week, what intentions, what values do you have? Are your intentions reflective of your values? Do you say, this is mine, like, oh yeah, my values, health, intentions, I intend to work out. What'd you do? Didn't work out. Okay, well, let's make sure. Are your intentions and your values informing the steps you take every day? If not, don't beat yourself up. Use it as information. Listen and then regroup. Even an airplane doesn't necessarily stay on track just because you set the GPS. It keeps having to be adjusted. People who sail know that you could point your boat to the destination, but the wind is going to keep taking it off course. We must always re-examine our intentions and make sure that they support our values, and then ensure that this next step, whatever it is, we could take it in faith, knowing we're on our path, even if we can't see the rest of the staircase. So good to be back. I so adore our community. Let's go within and have a prayer. There's only one divine energy. That energy comes to us either through the divine mother energy or through the typical patriarchal energy, or just through an understanding that there's only one power, one life, and that life is our life. that life is the life we live right now. And that each and every one of us are connected in the fabric of this life so that we cannot be separate even if we tried. This one life, this one energy that's beating the hearts of each and every one of us, that is a life and energy that supports us. It is all love. It is all powerful. It is all knowing. And it is available right here, right now. We don't have to go anywhere. We don't have to seek it out. We simply turn our inner ear towards it, and it turns toward us. We simply ask, and the answer is revealed. We simply listen, and the words come forth. Because it is that wellspring which can never be exhausted. It is the divine energy that is ever pumping all of its intelligence through each and every portal that is us. With this awareness of oneness, knowing that we cannot be separate from one another, I speak my word, knowing that Sophia, Mark, Jeff, Christy, and Michelle are all in good stead right now, being held up by the divine. We have celebrations for Allie and Abe. And for anyone graduating in this wonderful month of May and the month of June, just knowing that all is just perfectly unfolding right here and right now. Speaking my word for celebration, for a great trip for Renee. She's reintegrating right back into her work, not missing a step, just more of a lilt in the step, if you will. And for each and every one of us whose prayer request has not been mentioned but is held within their hearts, I know right here and right now, the highest and the best is unfolding in your life, and all is well. I know that the divine energy always says yes to whatever intention that we place into it. And so I simply celebrate that it is already happening. I release my word into the law, knowing it's all good, it's all done, and so it is. Amen, ashe. Woosah. That's a third one. Amen, ashe, and woosah. Soul pajamas, help.
This is a lovely song by Robert Anderson, and the subject of this song. These are all very inspirational people, but you'll get the message. It's a perfect one.
La 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 la.
One little boy in Africa, he put a face on AIDS, told his story till the day he died, and these are the words he said. He said,
do all you can with what you have, in the time you have, in the place you are. Do all you can. Do all you can with what you have, in the time you have, in the place you are. Do all you can. Do all you can. La 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 la.
Holy Mother from India, helping the sick and the poor. Somebody said, why do you do these things? She said, this is what I came here for. She said,
do all you can with what you have, in the time you have, in the place you are. Do all you can. Do all you can with what you have, in the time you have, in the place you are. Do all you can. Do all La 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 la. La 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 la.
This is the gift they gave to us to share wherever we go. Be the change you want to see in the world. Now I understand what they want us to know.
Do all you can with what you have, in the time you have, in the place you are. Do all you can. Do all you can with what you have, in the time you have, in the place you are. Do all you can. Do all you can.
One little boy in Africa,
Do all you can.
Holy Mother from India,
Do all you can.
be the change you want to see in the world.
Do all you can. Do all you can. Do all you can.
And wow, what a beautiful service and a great song. And now it's time to talk about our donations. Okay, now is the time to bless donations that are shared today. And at CSL Leesburg, we believe in the law of circulation. So we are a tithing community. The donations shared with our center bless everyone, those who give and those who receive. Your donation helps our center, our CSL home organization, which is worth checking out, as well as organizations that support our vision of helping to create a world that works for everyone. We're always looking for suggestions of organizations that we should consider, and you can go to our website and click Give. If you look at our screen now, you'll see that there are many ways to give, and it's easy to find a way that works best for you. You can also go to our website, CSL Leesburg, and click the Donate button. And now join me for blessing our gifts. So take your gift, no matter how you're giving, it could be physically or mentally, and place it over your heart and join us in our affirmation of oneness. The presence of spirit within me blesses everyone I meet, tends to heal everything I touch, brings gladness into the life of everyone I contact, and therefore I am a blessing to myself, to humankind, and to the day in which I live. And now it is time for some good to great to grand announcements. Alternating Sundays at 10 a.m. you can meet for a dream study group. The next meeting will be on June 1st, and it is on our Zoom. If you go to CSL Leesburg, you'll find a link to our classes and events, or click the Zoom link, and you can be brought to that dream meeting. And so excited for this. Get ready to call her Reverend Charlene. She graduates. This is so exciting. June 2nd at 7 p.m. Eastern. You can watch on the link to see her discover the gold and be an official reverend. This has been years. I feel like at least 2 years, right? Maybe one.
4.
4 years. This has been 4 years in culmination. And so this is a big deal. We are so proud, and we're so happy to call her Reverend Charlene. I hope you can make it. And this is the end of our time together. So again, place your hand over your hearts. You can unmute your mics to say this with me. So with your hand over your heart, say, I am love.
I am love.
Fun. And then you can look around the screen. You can look in your room around you, look at pictures, or even just imagine somebody and say, you are love.
You
are
are
love.
love.
And then put your hands up in the air for some love sprinkles and say, it's all love.
It's
Oh,
all
love.
Thank you so much for joining us. If you can stay in our Zoom, we have a little time where we talk about the pearls of the service. And you can join the Zoom link to be part of that discussion, or we just bless you for having a wonderful day. And that ends our time today.
Renee S is on.
Thank you.